Hello, what is greed? How do we define it? And more importantly, how does the Bible define it? Our general understanding of greed is this: it's an intense and selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, or food. So, even there in that general Google definition, we see that there's an open nature to greed, that it doesn't always apply to money or material possessions. And this is what Colossians tells us as well. In 3:4, it says, "When Christ, who is our life, is revealed, then you also will be revealed with him in glory. Therefore consider the members of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and greed, which amounts to idolatry." So again, greed here is associated with immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire. And again, the strength of language here is implying also that this greed is idolatrous, that it's putting something above God and therefore worshiping that. In Luke 12, Jesus warns us in verse 15, "Beware and be on your guard against every form of greed, for not even when one has an abundance does his life consist of his possessions." So again, we remember here from reading this that Jesus tells us that there are different forms of greed. There's very strong wording in the next two passages where Paul tells us about greed and the openness and the open nature of greed, that it can apply to many different things. In Ephesians 4:17, he says, "So this I say and affirm together with the Lord, that you walk no longer just as the Gentiles also walk in the futility of their mind, being darkened in their understanding, excluded from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, because of the hardness of their heart. And they, having become callous, have given themselves over to sensuality for the practice of every kind of impurity with greediness." So here we have that very strong connection between sensuality and greediness, this idea of impurity that's taken on with abundance. In Ephesians 5:3, he says, "But immorality or impurity or greed must not even be named among you, as is proper among saints. And there must be no filthiness and silly talk or coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather giving of thanks. For this you know with certainty, that no immoral or impure person or covetous man who is an idolater has an inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God." So again, this idea of covetousness, a covetous person related to idolatry. This is very strong language again that gives us an understanding that that immorality or impurity here is credited as being greediness. So that's the warning. The blessing is this, and the command is this: to seek after the things above, namely God and Christ himself. And we learned this early on, even in Job 22:24, that says, "And place your gold in the dust, and the gold of Ophir among the stones of the brooks. Then the Almighty will be your gold and choice silver to you. For then you will delight in the Almighty and lift up your face to God." This delight in God is to be our chief desire and delight. Anything in this world, including a sensation, can become something that I worship and seek after with great selfishness. So this is a good reminder for all of us to try to avoid every form of greediness as Christ taught. Take care.